Yo, what's poppin' everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Zach Lesage here. Today I'm going to be covering over one of the new Shrouded Fable decks. And in this video, I'm going to be showing over the deck, the strategy, diving into details and individual cards, everything except gameplay because it's not out on PTC5 yet. We will have some upcoming streams from some of our other TSS members showing these decks on PvP Tabletop Simulator. That being said, there's a lot of ground to cover in this video, and I really want to showcase how good Charizard Dusknoir actually is, or at least share my thoughts on the deck heading into the World Championships. If you like that already, like this video, let's jump into it. So here's what we got for Newzard. Newzard is going to be very much the same as regular Charizard Pidgeot that we had before. We still got to watch out for Dragapult, which seems like it might be the other big deck heading into the World Championships. And that's going to be interesting. Really, the new cards that we've added in here, really the new strategy piece is going to be Dusknoir, Dusclops, that kind of lineup. And it allows us to place damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon. I mean, Dusclops, you could pop it. Your opponent draws a prize card. You put 5 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Dusknoir is doing the exact same thing, where you pop it, you do 13. 13 is probably enough to knock out like a Pokemon, like a Manaphy, something on the bench. But either way, you can use it as a damage modifier on top of getting the extra damage modifier from Charizard EX. Because every time your opponent draws a prize card, you do plus 30. That's going to really be the whole core strategy when it comes down to it. Everything else is about really getting these cards out. And I do want to dive into these cards kind of a little bit more specifically in this video, since it is an early deck profile. I think that's what's going to make it pretty interesting. Now, the list is available in the description. You can copy and paste that right into Limitless decks or Limitless Tabletop, PvP Simulator, whatever it is. So that's what I'd recommend here. But otherwise, we will be diving into some of the more deeper core strategy, a little bit more in depth when it comes down to this video. So hopefully you enjoy that. Let's jump into it. Okay, so kicking things off, we have Charizard. Now, Charizard's going to be the main function of this deck. It's seen a lot of success this previous season, and heading into the World Championships, it might be the best deck for Worlds 2024. Being able to use its Infernal Rain ability, so you can search your deck for energies, accelerate them to your Pokemon, and mainly we're going to be accelerating energies of Charizard EX to use Burning Darkness. The reason why Burning Darkness is arguably the best attack in the game is because it scales as your opponent draws prize cards. You can fall behind a little bit, and Burning Darkness allows you to catch up based off how far ahead your opponent is in the game, and you could do extra damage based off of those factors. So it makes it really cool in order to make that happen. Now, every Charizard's got to start off somewhere. In this case, we're going to start off with either one of our Charmanders, either the Charmander with Heat Tackle or the Charmander with Blazing Destruction. I put one of the Heat Tackle Charmanders because it has 60 HP. We still got to watch out for Dragapult sniping 60 on the bench, but Heat Tackle can sometimes be based, especially when we have damage modifiers such as Defiance Band and the new Dusclops from Shrouded Fable. The other Charmander has 70 HP. I think it's better than the one that has, that's the promo one. Discarding a Stadium could be interesting. We'll see how it plays out. I also think Charmeleon makes a lot of sense here because we could evolve one of our Charmanders into a Charmeleon, and we could kind of have that, like, we don't need a rare candy, a little bit less reliant, and it makes it a little bit easier for us as well because we have now Dusknoir that might want to go rare candy from Dusclops into Dusknoir. So we take off a little bit of the reliance of the rare candy for the Charizard by having a Charmeleon in the deck. Flare Veil is typically better because it prevents all effective attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So your opponent can't spread damage counters with Dragapult EX on it. Your opponent can't Devo Charmeleon. It's typically just the better one. So all those Pokemon are trying to evolve into Charizard EX, really allowing you to get off that Burning Darkness. The way that we're going to be searching out all of the cool cards that we have in our deck is going to be Pidgeot EX. You can use quick search, searching your deck for anything. And when I mean anything, it might be that missing rare candy piece, that missing boss's orders, counter catcher, you name it, we can grab it. Pidgeot EX gives us a lot of mobility. Sure, you could use Blustery Wind, but we're really using it there for quick search. Similarly to the Charmanders, we're going to have the Pidgeys, not to call for family ones. We're going to use the one with Gust because it has a little bit more HP, which means that your opponent can't place the extra damage counters onto other Charmander to make it easy to knock those Pokemon out. Now, the card that we added into this deck that's really cool is Dusknoir. So previously we kind of explained how the strategy worked, and Charizard Pidgeot would search out whatever it wanted. Dusknoir gives us the opportunity, or Dusclops as well, to knock it out. We get to give our opponent a prize card, which sounds like a bad thing, but I'll connect that in 1 second. We can place damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon. Maybe that allows us to match the prize card we just drew on our turn, and it gives us the power to like draw 3 prize cards. Let's say that Charizard EX can knock out an opposing Fezandipiti EX, which is probably going to be one of the more popular Pokemon. Well, now we have the opportunity to knock out the Fezandipiti and knock out a Tatsugiri on our opponent's bench, for example. Now we have the opportunity to draw 3 prize cards in a turn. If you've already drawn 3 prize cards, that just says you win. However, we can also put the damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon, so we can use them as a damage modifier, giving us more opportunities to do extra damage to Charizard EX, on top of already increasing Burning Darkness from 180 plus 30 minimum, regardless of how very many prize cards your opponent has drawn. We could further amplify that by using cards such as Defiance Band to fall behind on prize cards and really do extra damage. And while we're there manipulating everything that we have going on, we have access to Roxanne to make sure that our opponent doesn't have the opportunity to play around that card, Iono so our opponent draws 1 card less, and of course we could use Unfair Stamp. It doesn't work out like with the Dusknoir per se, but it does put us in a situation where if our opponent did knock something out, we could Unfair Stamp them into nothing, play maybe a counter catcher now that we're behind on prize cards that we popped our Dusknoir with, knock out one of their Pokemon. Like, we can come up with some crazy turns. So the Dusknoir line is really going to allow us to get there, whether we rare candy into a Dusknoir, we evolve a Dusclops into a Dusknoir, or maybe we just go rare Dusclops, evolve from a Duskull in some case at all. Like, we have ways to get there throughout the game. Additionally, we have ways to draw cards. Like, we have a lot of support with this deck. Rotom, which we could use on our first turn. Lumineon, which we can play down, grab that Arven, grab that rare candy, grab that Forest Seal Stone. And we have the new Fezandipiti EX, which is going to be played in a lot of different decks, allowing you to just draw 3 cards. It kind of takes the place of the Bibarel, giving us a little bit of extra space because now we need to have Dusknoir there. We can search out Nest Ball search for Fezandipiti. We should be good. Maybe I need more than one Nest Ball in this deck. It is something that I have considered a little bit. Could cut maybe an Arven for that. Could cut maybe a Buddy Poffin for that. Maybe I don't need Technical Machine De-Evolution, but Technical Machine De-Evolution could work in a world where I pop with Dusknoir, de-evolve, maybe knock out 2 of my opponent's Pokemon, giving us some really cool plays across the board. And we also have Radiant Charizard, so whether we want to use Dusknoir to set ourselves to an even amount of prize cards or to an odd amount of prize cards, we have ways to then go back into a single prize card Pokemon like Radiant Charizard, and we can even activate our Excited Heart ability with Dusknoir or Dusclops. You can see that we have a lot more control over our games from our damage output, having access to Iono, having access to Roxanne, having access to Counter Catcher, and the amount of prize cards that we're drawing to do extra damage with Burning Darkness. Dusknoir fits this deck like a glove. It might seem a little bit weird to be playing a 1/1/1 Psychic type card in this otherwise Dark Fire type deck, but it works. It's magic. Everything else is designed around keeping things surviving and having more control. So we have Professor Turo to bring back our damaged Pokemon, maybe a 2 prize card like Lumineon or Rotom. We have Collapse Stadium to make sure that we can get rid of something like Fezandipiti that might become a liability at some point throughout the game. We have Boss's Orders in case we can't get things from counter catchers, and these are all cards that we could search out every single turn with Pidgeot EX. And the rest of the deck is working really well in that case, where it's like we have Mist Energy just in case Dragapult is as good as we assume it is. So based off our metagame and based off what I understand, it seems like Dragapult and Charizard are probably going to be 2 of the top decks heading into the World Championships. This deck is trying to beat pretty much everything, and as I've been testing on PTCG, Simulator, Limitless Tabletop, and with friends, this deck seems as strong as it becomes when it comes to these sets. And I'm not saying this is the final list, it's an early list. We are about 2 months before the World Championships. This is going to be really close to the list that are seeing success at Worlds. Give it a try, pick up the cards from Kayfabe if you need them, pick them up from PTCGL store once they come out, start practicing Charizard, it's the real deal. Let me close things out. That's what we got going on for this video, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Charizard EX and Dusknoir in this format. Arguably the best deck. I still can't think of another deck. And maybe it's something where I need to cover over Dragapult. Maybe it's something I need to look into it a little bit more. And stay tuned for more early deck profiles. We either cover this format that is pretty much done except for Cups. You'll probably see some of the top 10 best decks. Other than that, I think we're big chilling on whatever we have going on. If you want to learn more about these decks, talk about these decks, I do have my own Discord server that I created over the past couple weeks. That's in the description below, so you can join that, learn more about Pokemon, trying to get better at the game. Over the summer, I am running a coaching promo, severely discounted coaching, so hit me up for some individual sessions, or join one of my group classes where I can teach you more about how to play the game, learn more about it, see what's going on matchup-wise. Totally would love to help everyone out. And there's a lot of great content going on with the Shuffle Squad. We've got all of our great sponsors available in the description. You can copy and paste all those website links, check them out, maybe get some discounts on some products like Advanced GG, some Ultimate Guard products, or some code cards, individual cards, you name it, we got it. And again, appreciate everyone for watching these videos. Still in the process of tearing down this all before I move, so I hope that everyone maybe in some of the future videos it's going to be a white screen back there, or a white wall back there as I get ready to go on this awesome move. If anyone has any suggestions, kind words, comments, let me know. Anyways, so we'll catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.